in which maternal medical illnesses like cyanotic heart disease, hemoglobinopathies, again very important, blood group incompatibility, that is Rh negative mothers, premature rupture of membrane, smoking and alcohol seen in the mother, sperm chromosomal abnormalities, and unexplained causes will also lead to spontaneous abortions. Now, again, I am stressing on this point. Common causes divided according to the first trimester and second trimester causes. Genetic, most commonly seen in first trimester. Endocrine, second common. Then trauma, maternal medical illnesses, inherited thrombophilias, alcohol, caffeine, and unexplained. In second trimester, most common is anatomical, uterine anomalies, then immunological, Rh isoimmunization, maternal infections, maternal medical illnesses, and unexplained. Now let's see what are the types and how to diagnose them and treat them. Threatened abortion. It's a clinical entity where the process of miscarriage or abortion has just started but has not progressed to a state from where the recovery is impossible. Means if you diagnose this condition and treat it, there will be the pregnancy can still be continued. The patient usually presents with slight PV bleeding, usually painless. If you examine her, the uterus corresponds to the gestational age. Means all the product of conception are inside the uterus. The size of the uterus is according to the gestational age, and you will find that the cervix is closed. Minimal bleeding can be seen. Do the routine investigation which we do in antenatal cases. Ultrasound gives us information. How is the pregnancy? What is the gestational age? Fetal heart present, absent? How is the decidual reaction? That confirms a diagnosis that this is just a threatened abortion, and treat the patient with rest, analgesics. Ask her not to have strenuous activities, even avoid sexual intercourse. Role of progesterone. Clinically, we usually give natural progesterone to these patients, but it is still debatable. Progesterone can be given if it is included in your multiple choices. Inevitable abortion. This is a clinical type which is little ahead of threatened abortion. Over here, the change has progressed to a state from where continuation of pregnancy is impossible. Means the patient would have more bleeding, she would have pain, cramps, heavy PV bleeding, and on examination you will find the uterus is tender, which corresponds with the gestational age, but over here the difference is cervix would be dilated. Pregnancy is trying to come out. Product of conception may be felt which are coming out through the cervical os. So in this condition, continuation of the pregnancy with our medical or surgical management is not possible. That is why it is called as inevitable abortion. Management, if required, blood transfusion, but not very commonly required. If the gestational age is 12 weeks and less, then we can immediately do vacuum aspiration, either suction evacuation or dilatation and evacuation. Gestational age with more than 12 weeks, we can await for spontaneous expulsion. We can give oxytocin drip to augment and confirm that the pregnancy, the abortion process is complete. If required, we can do check curettage in both the cases. Incomplete abortion. Over here, as the word suggests, some of the products of conception are already expelled out, but some are still remaining inside the uterine cavity. So we call it as incomplete abortion. Patient presents with painful uterine contraction, heavy bleeding, and she usually gives history that something she has expelled out. On examination now here, the uterus would be smaller, which is natural that some products of conception are already out, so the uterine size would be smaller than the gestational age. Cervix would be dilated, partial expulsion of products of conception would be there. We have to take precaution in this case because as products of conception are already out partially, it may lead to heavy bleeding. So depending on her general condition, we have to give her IV fluids, may require blood transfusion sometimes, but at least we should send blood for grouping and cross-matching and surgically take out whatever are the remnants which are there in the uterine cavity still. Depending on the gestational age, we will choose the procedure. Usually these patients require check curettage. Medically, we can give misoprostol 200 microgram PV every 4 hourly, depend if she is not bleeding actively. Complete abortion. As the name suggests, abortion process is complete. The products of conception has expelled out en masse. She usually presents with heavy bleeding followed by decrease in bleeding, and she gives history that some sac-like pinkish clot she has already expelled out. On examination, you will find that the uterus is smaller than the gestational age, and now here the os is closed. As in threatened abortion, the os was closed. Here also everything has come out, and now the cervix is getting closed. We have to do either transvaginal sonography or transabdominal sonography to confirm that the uterine cavity is empty, because you all know that if products of conception remain inside, they will act as a focus for bacteria and infection might set in, leading to septic abortion. When the fetus is dead inside the uterus but still retained in the uterine cavity for a variable period of time, we call it as missed abortion. Clinical presentation can be persistent dark color bleeding, or maybe there is subsidence of pregnancy symptoms. The growth just ceases, absent FHS depending on the gestational age. An examination reveals a firm uterus which is smaller than gestational age and the cervix is closed. Means the fetus has died inside, but still the process of expulsion has not yet started. But eventually they all will be expelled out spontaneously. Over here we can try both the methods, either medical or surgical. Medically we can use drugs like misoprostol, or surgically either MVA or suction evacuation and dilatation and evacuation. It's important to check bleeding indices in these cases, because if the missed abortion is for longer time, it may lead to DIC, that is disseminated intravascular coagulation. So terminologies which I would like to include over here, one is Carneous mole or incarcerated pregnancy. In this condition, as the fetus is dead for a longer time, the fluid around the fetus gets absorbed by the body, and then this dead fetus gets shifted or it converts into mole. It's a variety of missed abortion only, which is there for a longer period of time, and the treatment is also same. But you have to remember these names, that it may be called as Carneous mole. Septic abortion. Any abortion associated with clinical evidence of infection of the uterus and the contents of it, it is called as septic abortion. It is usually seen in unsafe abortions, induced, illegal, illegally done, or the mode of abortion were not proper, or maybe somewhere incomplete abortion and patient has not reported to the hospital, and the proper treatment was not given, or the cavity was not cleaned, prolonged retention of products of conception, or incomplete or unsterile evacuation of the uterus, even though the procedure was done in legal place properly, but it was incompletely evacuated. As you know that this remnants, the products of conception, they act as a very good source for bacterial growth, and then the infection sets in, and which leads to septic abortion. Clinical features can be fever, abdominal pain, foul-smelling PV discharge, and PV bleeding. The signs would be, depending on the condition, there can be tachycardia, abdominal tenderness with boggy feel of the uterus. Patient may come in shock if it is the procedure has set in. Confusion, hypothermia, oliguria can be the symptoms. Now there are grades depending on where the infection is. Grade 1, if the infection is localized in the uterus. Grade 2, if the infection spreads beyond uterus, that is to the parametria, tubes, ovary, or pelvic peritoneum. And grade 3, there is generalized peritonitis, or maybe endotoxic shock, or acute renal failure, or jaundice. Then we call it as grade 3 septic abortion. This can be a cause of maternal death, so we have to be very cautious when we are treating septic abortion. Management, we need to do investigations like hemogram, blood group and cross match, urine analysis along with culture. We should send cervical or high vaginal swab to know which kind of bacterial infection or any other infection we are dealing with. Depending on the growth, we will detect what is the size of the uterus, what are the contents, whether there is any pelvic abscesses formed, So ultrasound will guide us what is the spread of the abortion or septic abortion. Blood culture, again very important investigation to know what kind of antibiotics we need to choose. Serum electrolytes, coagulation profile, because DIC is very common in this condition. Treatment, always hospitalize the patient. IV fluids, depending on the degree of shock, and always start the treatment with broad spectrum antibiotics, which will cover the whole spectrum till the reports of cervical culture, urine culture, or blood culture are available. She should be under the cover of broad spectrum antibiotics. Anti-tetanus serum should be given. Abortion, immediate are like hemorrhage, injury to the uterus or other organs. You all know perforation is very common because this is a blind procedure. When we are doing abortions, we cannot see, or this is basically in cases of the evacuation procedures we do in case of incomplete or septic or missed abortion. Endotoxic shock, general peritonitis, acute renal failure, thrombophlebitis. And remote complications are like pelvic pain, dyspareunia, ectopic pregnancy, and it may lead to secondary infertility. If the J-curettage is done overzealously, then there would be synechia formation. Or in case if sepsis is very common and it affects fallopian tube, it may lead to PID and affect fertility of the patient. So again, these complications are very important and questions would be asked on immediate or remote complications of abortions. Now, these are few